I've got a question from the Modern Divorce Support Group. I'm pregnant and my ex-fiancé kicked me out of his house. My question is now, will he have a case against me? One, because he kicked me out of technically our house. Both names were on the lease, while I was 5 months pregnant with his child and me having 2 other children that aren't his. He has a DUI, no car, no vehicle. His house reeked of marijuana when I was getting my stuff out, and I found it in my kids' toys. I bagged that up one day before I left. I can't stand the smell of it. It makes me gag. He is now living in the house after he told me he was going to go after I got my stuff out. I was going to keep it for me and my kiddos, the house. He's now back with his ex-wife who's on meth. As long as he's happy, I'm happy, but he's telling me that he's going to take me to court and fight me for full custody over my baby when she's born so him and his ex-wife can raise her together. I don't want him to legally get anything except supervised visitation for many other reasons as well. I am not a bitter baby mama. Me and my other kids' dad have 50-50 with no court documentation, and I would never keep the kids from their fathers. But he has also not put forth any effort to see his other children. He has a child who's about to be 7, and he hasn't seen him in almost 4 years. My biggest fear is he will get 50-50 and something will happen to my baby. I don't know if this matters, but I will be breastfeeding. So 2 questions. 1, can he come after me for the rent on the house we had together? And 2, does he have any chance of getting 50-50 with a baby? Hi, my name's Billy. I'm an Arizona family law attorney, and on my channel, we talk about family law issues. If that's interesting, follow me. There's 2 big issues here. Number 1, can you, mom, be held responsible for all or some of the lease payments that dad has already made after he kicked you out of the house? We have case law on this issue when one spouse pays the community debts and the other spouse has moved out. But we don't have family law case law on unmarried people because we don't have the rules of community property. So what we're really dealing with is a civil action between you and your ex-fiancé. So the family court will not order you to make payments on that lease. Even if you were married, you were ousted from the property, and when you're ousted from a property as a married person, your duty to contribute to those community expenses is offset. In terms of whether or not dad will get equal parenting time with your baby, I would think under the circumstances you've described, I would think no, but you are going to need to be prepared to provide evidence that he is abusing marijuana, that his ex-wife is using meth, that it is a dangerous environment for a newborn if he moves forward. So I would say, I would obviously this is not legal advice, this is legal information, educational purposes. I'm licensed in Arizona, not your lawyer, all those things, all those disclaimers. I would be very careful to not start that process myself. If I were you, I would not file for child support. I would keep it out of family court as long as I could. You can always go back for retro support, but the danger when you start a case with a newborn is that if dad asks for equal parenting time and you get a judge who doesn't take your concern seriously, that possibility is there. And to me, under the circumstances you've described, that's a risk that I wouldn't want to take. And I think you can limit the risk sometimes by not filing anything in court.